Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Susan Kazawa, and I was the Vice President of Ritual and Fraternity Appreciation for Alpha Chi Omega for 2014.
My name is Emily Ludwig. I am the new Vice President of Ritual and Fraternal Appreciation for Alpha Chi Omega, so for 2015.
For today, we'd like to, we're striving for a benchmark goal of distinction because we think our members are actively engaging in our ritual through all of our events and our planning, and we'd like our sisters to be more on a personal level with ritual. And we think we're getting there. For our alumni engagement and involvement, these are our previous seniors that graduated this past spring. We hold a Founders Day dinner, which is to celebrate our local and national Founders Day. We host alums from around the Cleveland area, and they come and we share stories about our times in Alpha Chi Omega. They make personal connections, networking, and yeah, that's about it with the alums. We also host alum tea and Hall of Commitment in the spring. Hall of Commitment is our ceremony for our seniors to go through the process of becoming an alum status in Alpha Chi Omega, and this is hosted by the alums. And then alum tea is to celebrate the seniors becoming alumni.
And then we also have our Liar to Liar Week, which is the week before our initiation. It's a week of pre-initiation events. There's we have a big little reveal and then 3 other ceremonies that go along. We'll talk a little more about them later, but the alumni are definitely engaged in those as well. They're all open to alums. One particular event, Fireside, involves gathering all of our current sisters to kind of talk about like what Alpha Chi has meant to them, what it's done for them, and that's a very popular one for our alumni to come back and kind of share their views on, now that they're out of the chapter, have graduated to alumni status, kind of what the chapter has done for them beyond their 4 years. And then Parent Weekend is another way we like to involve both our parents and our alumni. We have a weekend in the spring where we have parents of current chapter members. We also have some local alums come in, and we'll put on events like house tours, a mock chapter, maybe a service event between the sisters and the families, to engage them that way and just show kind of what we do as a chapter.
Sorry.
Yeah. So membership development, we definitely put our ritual into a lot of the different events that we do plan. First is Hair Day. It's actually March 1st, so this coming Sunday we're preparing to celebrate this year. Hair Day is where we kind of look out and try to say thank you to all those who serve us, and so to do this we give out red carnations, which is our flower, to members of the community. So we're also writing notes to go along with them this year, and so we're going to give carnations to sisters to give out to maybe like the greenie driver, a person working in the dining hall, things like that. McDowell Month is the entire month of February. That's where we celebrate our history as an arts and music fraternity. That's how we were founded. And so what we do there is we plan different events throughout the month to celebrate different aspects of arts appreciation. So I know this year we went to the Cleveland Museum of Art, and we went around and looked at different pieces of art that featured things like flyers, red carnations, all of our symbols, talked about that. We also showed a Broadway movie in the house, so we had a great little sing-along party. And then actually tomorrow we're going to be crafting for our philanthropy, the Domestic Violence and Child Advocacy Center. We're going to make some different St. Patrick's cards and decorations for them, and we're also going to write notes to go along with our carnations for Hair Day. So trying to create activities that are both celebrating our heritage, but also, developing our members and trying to serve another purpose like philanthropy.
Through our ceremonies such as initiation, Hall of Commitment, and the various ceremonies we do through Liar to Liar Week, each ceremony gives a chance for the sister to reflect back on what the process they went through, going through as a new member, and we always do an initiation debrief where we talk about a different aspect of our initiation. Making sure our newer members know what was going on, but also reflect on what was important and how it made you feel, how you can reflect and how you can apply it to your everyday life.
And the last thing is our ritual reviews. That's something that we usually hold about 2 to 3 times a week. It's open to the entire chapter, and that's just where either myself or someone from my ritual committee will kind of sit down for an hour, and we welcome sisters to come in and just we can either just review the actual words of our ritual and kind of reflect on it that way, or we'll bring maybe a question or bring attention to a specific part and try to focus in on how that specific portion of our ritual maybe has been relevant to what our chapter has been doing recently, or maybe how we can make that one more prevalent. So that's definitely another way that we engage our ritual.
So through each of these events that we've already kind of touched on, we make sure our sisters know the purpose, why we're doing it, and like what they can get out of it, along with what they can teach the chapter. So we'll touch on values, on why we were founded, on comparing your personal values to the chapter's values. And through all these various events and ceremonies, they get a chance to realize why they were selected to be a member of Alpha Chi Omega, and be reminded that it's a developing process and it's meant to start from as a stage 1 where you're brand new, don't know, and you're supposed to develop into a real strong woman is what we're going with. And through our recruitment, we try to show what the chapter itself stands for. So our last party, we show a bit of our ritual, which is our symbol is the pearl, and through this mini ceremony, we describe that every member that joins our chapter is a pearl. Either they are come perfectly, they are the whole package, or they are still a grain of sand developing, and the sisters will help develop you to become a pearl. So everyone will become a pearl by the end of their experience through Alpha Chi Omega. And through recruitment, we hope this message was very I just forgot words. This was very prominent, and that the new members or potential new members could pick up on this and realize what we stood for.
I think another really great way that we bring in our values is actually by getting first-hand testimony from our sisters throughout recruitment. During our second party, when we talk about our philanthropy, we have a sister who's very passionate about that, stand up and speak about, how our philanthropy really is kind of like one of the most important aspects of our chapter, how our chapter values really help us support our philanthropy, how our sisters are so passionate about our philanthropy. And same thing with third and fourth day, we have sisters standing up talking about things that Alpha Chi Omega has done for them, how it's helped them to develop their personal values, kind of recognize what's important to them, and also how our chapter values really are what tie us together, and how that's really how we made our decision to join the chapter, and how potential new members should really be looking at our chapter to decide whether it's right for them. So I know personally in my recruitment process, seeing aspects of ritual and hearing from these sisters what they actually got out of their experience was definitely a deciding factor.
We have 2 awards for ritual. One is the Symphony Award, which awards a junior member of the class, of the junior class, who exemplifies our symphony to the fullest extent. So without really reading it, our symphony talks about for a person to live their life in a way that it's not for themselves but to help others, to make sure to looking out for your sisters, to saying thank you, to appreciate the people around you. So we will award a junior member this award, and it's a necklace with our crest on it. And this past year it was awarded to Amanda Crow, if you all know who she is. And then our sophomore necklace awards a sister who exemplifies leadership skills and has the greatest potential leader in the chapter through not only positions, but through how they present themselves, how they help out in the community, and how they help out in the chapter. And this past year, it was awarded to Emily Surfling. So through each of our ceremonies and things that are open to alumni, well, all of this is open to alumni, but alum-specific events like Alum Tea, Hall of Commitment, we try to instill the thought that Alpha Chi Omega is for life. You've joined an organization that can help you not only in college, but also through finding a job. I know there's an Alpha Chi Omega LinkedIn page. People look for roommates. People look for interviews, and there are many things that Alpha Chi Omega can do for you after the chapter. So we try to make sure our sisters know that every Alpha Chi Omega across the nation has these same values, has the same values that we hold, and holds the same values across America. So with that you have a connection with another sister in a different state, and maybe even move to a different country.
Yeah,
But
I think that Zeta Upsilon does a really great job of just developing that relationship, not only with Alpha Chi's nationally, but just developing a lifelong commitment to our own chapter, to our own sisters, to our own families. I know we're really lucky we have an alumni chapter which is entirely Zeta Upsilons across the nation who are not geographically tied, but they feel so passionately about their experience at Case Western Alpha Chi. They want to support us, so they set up a virtual online alumni chapter to be able to support us better, so they've been a great resource to us in that way. I know we also have such strong family ties at least from what I can speak to, only having been in the chapter for 1 year, girls from the past few generations of Alpha Chi have definitely been involved, especially recently as we're going through our new member process, getting our bigs and littles. I know this is from my big little reveal, and there's tons of girls who had already graduated but still came back because they were just so excited to meet new members of the family. In the past few days, we found out our new littles for this year, and there were girls calling and texting their family lines all over, generations back. So I guess, just to me, I think that without even having to reach out to these alums, so many of them recognize just how strongly they feel about our chapter, and they're so eager just to come back and be involved.
And a lot of them feel like they try to give back in any way they can. So I know Ruth Thompson is now an alum advisor for the U Chicago chapter of Alpha Chi Omega. Ashley Lambert, who also recently graduated, helped out with the Virginia Tech chapter of Alpha Chi Omega. So all our seniors, our graduated seniors, try to give back as much as they can in any way, shape, or form possible. So we celebrate Founders Day in two ways. One is the dinner we host with the alumni, but we also try to show how vast our sisterhood is, how far we stretch. So we created these cards. We made 13 cards to represent 7 cards to represent our 7 founders. Sorry. And we had each sister sign it and write a little note and pass it along to every sister they saw. So it kind of was like a chain, and we got every member of our chapter to sign it in one day, which was really something exciting to see. We host both Parents Weekend, and we held a homecoming viewing party, which was open. We hosted it with another sorority and fraternity, but it was also open for alums to come, and since we were on the route of the parade, it was a convenient way for us to watch while hanging out with the community and our alums, and just, I think we had a barbecue, so that was nice.
So I guess we just wanted to touch a little bit on future goals that we have for Ritual, especially like my future goals since I've just stepped into this position. So I guess our first one is just for every member to have a more personal connection with our ritual. I know that's something we've definitely worked on in the last year that Susan really strove for. We've made great strides in having every sister feeling a lot more comfortable with our ritual than we were in the past, having them more aware of what it actually says, what it stands for. So I guess what I'm hoping for is just to take that one step further, not just knowing our ritual, but taking it a step deeper to a higher level understanding, being able to apply it more to their own lives, and that's really something I'm hoping to do not only through engaging sisters in the Liar to Liar Week pre-initiation events, in practicing, planning, and executing our initiation, in our initiation review, which will be for the new members and for current sisters. And that goes into our next one, which is to tie ritual into our everyday lives and to promote ourselves and our values through it. Again, just being able to recognize not only this is verbatim what our ritual says, but this is how this applies to our lives over 100 years after this was originally written. And also just to be able to promote that and kind of use our values to create our brand on campus, really making ourselves identifiable, that we are Alpha Chi Omega, and what ties us together is first and foremost our values. And finally, one thing that I'm really interested in doing is more effectively engaging our alumni in chapter events. I know we spoke to some very alum-specific events like the Alumni Tea, the Hall of Commitment, a Founders Day dinner where we reach out and have these events specifically for alumni. But we're so lucky to have 3 Alpha Chi alumni chapters in the Cleveland area, and we really want to move into having those alums at all of our events, whether it's our Domestic Violence Awareness Week, helping out behind the scenes at recruitment. We even have some who are mothers who are alumni of mothers of current sisters, as well as alum from around the area who are interested in coming to our initiation this year. This isn't something that has been as big in the past, but we definitely kind of brought them in this year, and we're hoping to take that one step further in the coming years.
To go back to tying our ritual, the best way I was described ritual was by Amy Jackson, and we were discussing about how we can promote more people to think about ritual. And she was saying a definition of a ritual is you brush your teeth every day. You do it without thinking about it. You always just do it. And that's what I hope, and that's what we hope Alpha Chi Omega and our ritual will become. Just something that you do, like you do it naturally and you do it almost without knowing it, but you can step back and realize, be like, oh yeah, I did brush my teeth. And, oh yeah, this is part of our values. This is something I stand for. That's it. Sorry.
Do you have anything in place to do kind of ongoing member development, education, anything like that?
At the moment, it's just the ritual reviews. Through the new member period, we have instilled, well, this year I'm VP New Member Education.